So, this is supposedly an ongoing investigation, and you know, this would have missed me in terms of the severity compared to the Eden Knight situation, because this seems more of like a normal hate crime, but like with Eden Knight, that went deep in like investigation and like CEOs and shit like that being uh with that and with Eden Knight's father, I believe, who were like high figures, all combined to bring her back to Saudi Arabia and get her killed. Like literal high figures in America and CEOs. Like, that's crazy. I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna read this, but you know, I wish I had read this first and then had it slowly lead up to Eden Night, because I feel bad now. Because, I mean, for anyone who just isn't paying attention, they would just be like, ah, yes, hate crimes. But it literally is ramping up. It is, you know, okay. On the 11th of February 2023, Brianna Gray, a 16-year-old British transgender girl from Birchwood in Warrington, Churchshire, England, was killed in Churcheth Linear Park in Colfeth, Warrington. Two accused teenagers, both age 15, are in police custody, having been charged with murder 4 days after the incident. A motive has not been established, and police are investigating all lines of inquiry, including investigating the killing as a possible hate crime. Gay was a 16-year-old transgender girl and a year 11 pupil at Birchwood Community High School. Her parents described her as, quote, a larger-than-life character who would leave a lasting impression on her, that anyone that met her. According to her friends, Gay would often help younger trans girls safely and legally access hormone replacement therapy. They also said she had faced years of transphobic harassment and bullying before she was killed, including at school, a part of which was being repeatedly, quote, gang beaten. Alright, so this does seem like a proper lead up to a hate crime. I mean, if that wasn't in there, that it would just be like up for grabs, but still a good assumption. Alright. In addition to being a student, Gay was also a TikToker under the username Ginger Puppy, with her number of followers variously reported at 11,000 and 31,000 and 63,000. On TikTok, she was known for naming and dancing to popular songs. One of her final TikToks said that she was excluded from school after her death. On her TikTok account was deleted. Oh, after her death, her TikTok account. What? Why? Is that a thing that just happens? You just get erased from the internet when you die? Is this just a TikTok thing? Okay. On the afternoon of the 11th February 2023, Gay was found with multiple stab wounds on a path to Chertheth Linear Park by members of the public. Emergency services were called at 3:13 p.m. and she was pronounced dead at the scene. A Home Office post-mortem had been ordered to determine the cause of death. On the 15th of February 2023, prosecutor Leanne Gallagher said the attack on Gay was, quote, extremely brutal and punishing. On the 8th of March 2023, an inquest into Gay's death was opened at Warrington Coroner's Court and subsequently adjourned until after the trial. A pre-inquest hearing is scheduled for the 17th of August 2023. Gay's funeral was held at St. Elphin's Church, Warrington on 15th of March 2023. Alright. A TikTok memorial account and a GoFundMe page were set up by Gay's friends to support her family. It raised £70,000 in 3 days and assumed over 36,000 followers on TikTok. After Gay's After Gay's fundraising page amassed £100,000, right? That's pounds, right? I don't ever read pounds, so I'm just assuming. Her family thanked people for their overwhelming generosity and stated monies were spent on her funeral, refurbishing her room and the purchase of Freemason jewelry for the family's remembrance. Some of the donations were to, okay, oh shit. On February 13th, no-fly zone was instituted over the site of the killing in response to flights by drones. Despite the no-fly zone, people continued to fly drones over the site, prompting condemnation from police. What? Okay. Alright. Well, that's all very sweet. Oh. Well, that's not sweet. Due to the Gender Recognition Act of 2004 that prevents minors from acquiring gender recognition certificate, Gay's death certificate will likely misgender her. Oh, damn. I almost want to click the Gender Recognition Act 2024 just to see what the hell's going on. Or, sorry, 2004. The Gender Recognition Act of 2004 is an act of the Parliament of the United Kingdom that allows people who have gender dysphoria to change their legal gender. Oh. Okay. The Gender Recognition Act enables transgender people to apply to receive a gender recognition certificate. A gender recognition certificate is a document issued that shows that a person has satisfied the criteria for legal recognition in the required gender. Alright, that gives people with gender dysphoria legal recognition as members of the... Oh, well that's at least good, but is this talking like... Okay. What? Doesn't this say that it enables them? Like it allows them? Oh, it's been amended? Uh-oh. Okay. Well, I can't get wrapped up into the weeds with that right now. U.S. civil rights attorney Alejandro Calabaro wrote, quote, "The Gender Recognition Act that the gender criticals keep fighting with horrific diminishing language means that Brianna Gay's death certificate cannot list her gender as female. As a final insult, the English government will officially misgender her in death," end quote. Twitter campaigns call for the government... I must have read that Recognition Act totally wrong. Or I didn't read the part where it was amended. Okay. Twitter campaigns called for the government to issue a gender recognition certificate to Gays, quote, "so that she can have the dignity in death that everyone else in this world takes for granted," end quote. A petition circulated reaching more than 13,000 signatures for Gay's death certificate to posthumously reflect her gender as female. This petition has since been rejected by the conservative British government, who stated in response that the current policy, quote, "strikes the right balance," end quote, and that they had no plans to change it. Oh, well, of course, but... Okay, so accused. Two 15-year-old suspects, a boy from Leh and a girl from Warrington, were arrested by Cheshire Police on the 12th of February 2023. The police described the killing as a targeted attack, though they initially said there was no evidence the killing was hate-related. On the 14th of February, the police said they were now exploring whether the attack had been a hate crime. Well, initially it said that she had been getting transphobic remarks, and that's what led up to her death. But yeah, this doesn't seem random if that's a pattern in this chick's life. On the 15th of February, the suspects were charged with murder, refused bail, and placed in youth detention. The next day, the suspects appeared via video link in a brief hearing at Liverpool Crown Court. At this hearing, Judge David Aubrey remanded them in youth detention accommodation until a pretrial preparation hearing on the 2nd of May 2023, in which they were to enter their pleas. However, the accused were not required to enter a plea and were remanded until a further hearing on the 11th of May. In June 2023, it was reported that the trial was scheduled to start on 27th November 2023. In a pretrial hearing on the 20th of July 2023, one of the suspects entered a plea of not guilty. What? The other suspects did not enter a plea. A further pretrial hearing is scheduled to take place on the 4th of October 2023, ahead of the trial in November 2023. It is predicted the trial will last for approximately 3 weeks. So I don't want to read everything about this. I am curious about the criticisms of UK media. Okay. Some UK media outlets were criticized for their reporting of Gheys' death. The Trans Safety Network said that some UK media outlets were, quote, publicly disrespecting Gheys in their coverage of her death. Initial reporting by both BBC News and Sky News did not state that Gheys was transgender. What? Oh, they're hiding that, of course. Well, so they don't want to make it a culture war thing, or like a recognition of a hate crime, so they're just gonna sweep it all under the rug to make the UK look good, like a rape at a college. I mean, that's weird. This is so strange. I mean, it's not surprising. This is... Damn, they're covering this shit up. This really does make me think this is just like somebody getting raped and they don't want to fucking mention it because it makes them look bad. Okay. Oh, sorry. The Times faced strong criticism after amending their original story by removing the word girl and introducing Gheys' dead name. The Times later amended their story again to remove the dead name and re-added the word girl. Okay, so did they not do it on purpose, or is this still not including admitting she's trans? Okay. The website Mary Sue condemned what it described as a transphobic atmosphere of the British press and widespread transphobic reporting on the killing of Bray. Sandhura Raj, a professor of human rights law, said, quote, "We all have a responsibility to challenge the insidious ways the media and politicians dehumanize trans people," end quote. Ash Sarkar, a journalist for Novara Media, said she, quote, "cannot fathom the callousness involved in making the editorial decision to violate her dignity in death," end quote. Labour MP for Warrington North Charlotte Nichols said that she would be lodging a complaint with the Times and the independent press standards of organization, and that, quote, "there is absolutely no need whatsoever for anyone to publish her dead name when identifying her as trans in media coverage," end quote. Yeah, I mean, I guess you shouldn't even really know her original name, honestly. It, like, I don't even know, and I don't think that's a problem. Like, it's none of my business, anyways. Anyways, a report by NBC News on the killing concluded that, quote, the climate in the UK has grown increasingly hostile for trans people over the last few years, end quote. Noting that the BBC had recently published the article, quote, we're being pressured into sex by some trans woman, end quote, which was accused of, quote, painting all transgender women as sexual predators, end quote. American magazine Vogue connected the killing to online transphobia, writing that, quote, there is a near constant questioning of trans rights that reinforces the idea that trans men and women are trying to fool us, to trick us, that their deeply personal gender identity is an effort to the status quo and how we live, end quote. Well, it's not about changing people, like, that you don't know, but, like, the status quo in terms of, like, it's okay to be like this, like, damn, obviously that's not what that person was talking about. Just okay. Sorry about that, guys. I just had to think about that because that's just so like people are so paranoid